Hello guys, it is the Unclear 999. Today's video is about retention, and I know you've probably heard that before all over the internet. The hidden strength of retention, they say. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. For centuries, great sages, warriors, and philosophers knew that the life force within a man, his seed, was not merely a biological byproduct, but a sacred source of vitality, ambition, and magnetism. In a world drowning in instant gratification, constant stimulation, and numbing addictions, the discipline of semen retention becomes not a restriction but a revolution. It is the refusal to leak energy. It is the conscious decision to build, to contain, to rise. When a man retains his seed, he is not just preserving a fluid, he is preserving his focus, his drive, his masculinity. He begins to glow with an invisible power. His eyes sharpen, his voice deepens, his posture shifts from slouched and unsure to grounded and proud. His handshake becomes firmer, his presence more commanding. This is not superstition. It's biology and energy in alignment. Each time a man withholds the urge to release for temporary pleasure, he reclaims sovereignty over himself. He stops being ruled by lust and starts being ruled by purpose. His mind clears, his confidence strengthens, his goals, once foggy, come into sharp focus. Women notice, but not just because of looks or muscles, though those may improve too, but because something deeper is awakened. A man with purpose, with discipline, with a mission, is magnetic in a way no cologne or pickup line could ever replicate. He walks into a room and people turn to look, unsure why. It's not arrogancy, it's presence. The subtle yet undeniable aura of a man who doesn't chase pleasure, but one who creates value. A man who doesn't beg for attention, but commands respect. Women are biologically wired to notice this. They are drawn to the silent confidence of a man who has himself under control, not because he needs them, but because he is complete within himself. In the age of hyperstimulation, true masculinity is rare. A man practicing semen retention becomes part of a new breed, a renaissance of men who are no longer slaves to impulse. His body responds. Testosterone levels may rise. Energy levels soar. Workouts become more intense. Goals are pursued with fire. Eyes are clearer. Skin glows. There is a calmness in his demeanor, yet a storm of ambition behind his eyes. Women see it, they feel it, and they are drawn to it, not just because of what he looks like, but because of what he represents: control, depth, strength, and mystery. He becomes a beacon not of superficial charm but of real power, the kind of power that can't be faked, the kind that comes from mastery over self. When you practice semen retention, you're not simply storing energy or refining it. Like a blacksmith hammering steel into a sword, each day of self-control forges you into something stronger, sharper, and more focused. The fog of overstimulation begins to lift. Your thinking becomes clearer. Decisions are no longer made from emotion or impulse, but from logic, vision, and alignment with purpose. You begin to observe how often society tries to keep men weak, how often we're told to suppress our masculinity, how frequently we're bombarded with images and temptations designed to drain our energy. But when you rise above it, when you hold your energy in and transmute it into focus, creation, and discipline, you become untouchable. Your mind becomes your ally, not your enemy. You begin waking up with energy, with hunger not for flesh or fantasy, but for progress, for conquest, for creation. You take action. You hit the gym. You build businesses. You write. You study, you meditate, you plan. That power that once leaked out in moments of weakness now fuels the empire you're building internally and externally. The body follows the mind, and the body begins to change. Muscle tone improves, posture aligns, eyes become brighter, voice becomes more resonant. These aren't myths, they're the observable consequences of channeling your primal power toward progress. People notice, especially women, but not in the way the movies show, not because you're flashy or desperate. No, it's subtle, magnetic, and rooted in energy. You see, women are intuitive. They pick up on energy more than we realize. A man who is centered, grounded, and retaining his essence radiates something ancient and attractive. It's not lustful, it's life-giving. It's the same reason lions don't chase, they attract those present. When you walk with purpose and clarity, women sense they see it in your eyes. They hear it in your silence. They respect your mystery. You're no longer seeking validation, you are the source of it. And paradoxically, that's what makes you stand out. You've become a lighthouse in a storm of insecurity and noise. But semen retention is not a magic pill. It doesn't make you superhuman by default. What it does is amplify who you already are. If you're lazy, it will magnify your frustration. If you're disciplined, it will amplify your power. That's why the path of retention must go hand in hand with purpose. You must build, you must grow, you must challenge yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Otherwise, you will become restless. The energy must be directed. Build your body, master your finances, sharpen your mind, develop your character. That's how you become the man you were meant to be. Retention isn't just about women, it's about you. Women are drawn to the result. But you do it for yourself. You do it because you're tired of being weak, because you're sick of being controlled by urges, because you want to break generational cycles, because you're here to become a leader, a builder, a protector, a king. Sexual energy is the most powerful force a man possesses. It's the creative energy behind all of life. It's not just about reproduction, it's about creation in every form. Art, innovation, strength, vision. When you retain your semen, you're not depriving yourself, you're investing in yourself. You're redirecting that raw, primal energy back into your system, letting it circulate and enrich your mind, body, and spirit. It becomes a fuel that can be transmuted into focus, confidence, and charisma. This is known as sexual transmutation, a term popularized by Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. He observed that the most successful men in history learned to channel their sexual energy into ambition, drive, and legacy. With retention, you're no longer a man constantly seeking relief. You're a man producing value. Your aura begins to change. People sense something different about you, even if they can't explain it. It's in the way you carry yourself, the calm, the alertness, the lack of neediness. You're not chasing, you're not simping, you're centered. This calm, rooted presence is magnetic. It's what people, especially women, are drawn to, not the shallow performances of fake confidence. You become authentic, and authenticity is rare. But it's not just about the way others perceive you, it's also about how you perceive yourself. You stop treating yourself like someone who needs constant escape. You begin to respect yourself as someone who is on a mission. Retention teaches you to face discomfort, to sit with tension, to master your impulses. These skills bleed into every area of life. You become more emotionally intelligent. You stop reacting to everything. You learn to respond, to observe, to lead. There are moments when the pressure builds. Your body wants to release. Your brain seeks dopamine. You feel agitated, sometimes even angry. But these are signs of growth. These are the firestorms you pass through on your way to greatness. And when you channel that pressure by working out, journaling, building your business, meditating, it no longer controls you. You control it. This is the essence of masculine mastery, turning chaos into clarity, desire into discipline. As weeks turn into months, you begin to see just how much of your life was being dictated by short-term pleasure. Retention rewires your dopamine system. You find joy in the grind. You no longer need external stimulation to feel alive. You start to enjoy silence, enjoy your own company, enjoy the process. You're not desperate anymore, you're driven. You no longer seek women to complete you. You connect with them from abundance, not lack. You become selective, discerning, patient, and ironically, this makes women desire you more because they sense yours, because they know you are not swayed by beauty alone, you're looking for depth. The world tells you that masculinity is toxic, that being disciplined is old, that lust and instant gratification are harmless. But the truth is, what they call toxic is often just untamed. When you harness your masculinity with wisdom and love, it becomes a force for healing, protection, and leadership. The world is starving for strong, honorable men, and semen retention is one of the fastest ways to begin that transformation. It's not easy. Some days you will feel tempted. Some nights you will wrestle with your demons. But that's where the growth is. Every time you choose restraint over release, you sharpen your character. Every day you stay on the path, you upgrade your internal operating system. And eventually, it's not about streaks or numbers, it's just who you are now. A man in command of his energy. A man who has nothing to prove, but everything to offer. A man who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word to be respected.